Hey friends, this is Heath with Backyard Explorers. We're at our local library to see if we've got any emails from junior explorers. If they've got some questions, we're going to get some library materials and go on an adventure. So come join us. I'm here at my local library to see if we've got any questions from Backyard Explorers. It looks like John is asking, how do we get snow? That's a great question. Danny wants to know, why does it rain? Also a very interesting question. I think I know what we're going to talk about next. It looks like we need to start watching the weather. I've got my library card and I've got my books. Let's check out and start our adventure. I'm here at my local park and we're going to start watching the weather. We also want to start a weather journal. Why would we want to start a weather journal? Why wouldn't we? It's so much fun. And we're scientists. That's what we do. A weather journal is a great way for us to record our daily observations. And collecting weather data is a great excuse for backyard explorers to get outside. The first thing we want to answer is, what is the weather? Well, weather is what's going on outside right now. When you go outside, is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is the air calm or is it windy? Is it raining? Snowing? When you answer any of these questions, you're describing the weather. And describing the weather is exactly what we want to do in our weather journal. Did you know that when you grow up, you can make watching the weather your job? That's right. Meteorology is the scientific study of weather, and meteorologists are the people who study it. Weather is measured daily, but weather measured over a period of time is called climate. Meteorologists have the ability to study these weather patterns over time. Here in Oklahoma, we sometimes get severe weather, like tornadoes. Our meteorologists might even be able to predict where those storms might form. It's important to know that we can collect weather data right where we live. On a hot day like today, the sun is warming up this water. And anytime water warms up, it evaporates into a gas into the atmosphere and fills our clouds heavy with moisture. The wind and weather carry those saturated clouds to different locations, and it falls as precipitation. That fills our streams, our rivers, our lakes, and eventually the oceans. This is all part of the water cycle, which is a major part of weather here on Earth. Weather affects us every day. It affects what we wear. On a cold, rainy day like today, I'm going to need an umbrella. I'm going to need some galoshes. I'm not going to need any sunscreen, I don't think. But if we're going to go to the park, we're going to need to be prepared for the elements. An important part of weather is precipitation. What is precipitation? Well, it's raining right now. That's a form of precipitation, but any type of moisture that falls from the sky is precipitation. So it doesn't matter if it's rain or hail or sleet or snow. Those are all forms of precipitation. An important part of weather is temperature. What is temperature? Temperature is how hot or cool the air is. If the air is really hot, it's going to be a high temperature. If it's cold like today, it's going to be a lower temperature. Meteorologists use a thermometer to measure the temperature outside. You might have one of these at home. Weather affects everything, even the seasons. Here in Oklahoma, we have 4 distinct seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. The seasons are actually caused by the tilt of the earth. It doesn't spin like a top, it's actually got a little bit of a wobble to it. In the winter, we get less hours of sunlight. In the summer, we get more hours of sunlight. That's the reason for the seasons. Did you know that for it to snow, it has to be freezing from the ground all the way to the clouds? Water vapors form into crystals around a tiny piece of pollen or a speck of dust. And then It falls as six-sided ice crystals, which is a type of precipitation. It's beautiful. I love watching the weather, but sometimes you've got to watch out for the weather. Have you ever gotten too hot in the summertime? If you do, find some shade and drink plenty of water. Have you ever gotten too cold in the winter? Well, make sure you've got on plenty of layers, and if you get too cold, don't be afraid to go inside. Have you ever heard a tornado siren? If you do, seek shelter immediately. We just saw lightning, so we're gonna have to go inside, and I'm definitely gonna have something interesting to put in my weather journal today. It is a beautiful day out, and I want to fly my kite. We're at this wonderful historical archaeological site, and we as explorers aren't going to touch anything, but if we get lucky, we're going to have the right weather conditions to get this kite in the air. I want to fly my kite. I need wind to do that. But what is wind? Wind is actually moving air, and it's caused by the uneven heating of the Earth's surface and the spin of the planet. When it's hot out, warm air rises and wind comes in to fill that space. How cool is that? All right, friends, that's all the time we have for watching the weather. We've collected our weather data and we're going to enter that into our journal. For your weather journal, you can keep it simple and use symbols to describe the weather, or it can be more complicated. You can use weather collection data instruments like thermometers and rain gauges to be even more precise. The possibilities are endless. For now, let's return our books to the library and look over our findings. We've just returned our books to the library, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the weather. Just remember, you can make your weather journal however you want. Making scientific data collection a normal part of our day is an important step in knowing and understanding our environment. And that empowers us to become better stewards of this planet. Now it's your turn to start your weather journal right where you live. Join us next time for Backyard Explorers.